after getting my year-end bonus. I bought my grad student boyfriend a pair of limited edition Air Jordans. The next day, I found them on a resale app, listed for a fifth of the price. The box was still sealed. I bought them instantly. Once they arrived, I confirmed the delivery and then dialed his number. "Hey babe, did you like the little surprise I got you?" He sounded confused. "What surprise?" I let out a small wounded laugh. "The classic Patek Philippe watch I hid inside the shoebox. It's worth over 50,000. You didn't see it?" I was scrolling through resell on a lazy weekend when a local listing caught my eye. Limited edition Air Jordans. Size 11, brand new, unopened, authentic. Needs to go fast. Only $400. I stared at the screen, my mind blinking for a second. I just bought the exact same pair a few days ago. Same model, same size. Because they were a limited release and a rare size. I'd pulled 3 all-nighters camping online to snag them, paying nearly $2,000. Had to be fakes, right? I clicked on the post and swiped through the photos. My breath caught when I saw the gift wrap on the shoebox. A pale gray paper with a subtle silver stamped pattern. It was the exact one I'd chosen. The official store packaging was too plain, so I'd gone to 2 different specialty shops, agonizing over the options before settling on this one. I'd picked the most understated gray I could find, worried he might think anything else was too flashy. I told myself it was just a coincidence, but a chill was already creeping at my fingers. I tapped on the seller's profile. The IP address was in the same state. After a long moment of silence, I opened a chat with the seller. "Hi. Are the sneakers still available? Are they authentic? Why are they so cheap?" A reply came back instantly. "Hey, don't worry. They're 100% legit. Shipped straight from the flagship store. The box hasn't even been opened." He followed up with a screenshot of the shipping confirmation. "Recipient, done." The sender was my online store ID. My phone nearly slipped from my hand. The seller was my boyfriend, Dan. And that shipping screenshot. I was the one who sent it to him. My fingers felt stiff. I took a deep breath and navigated to his resale profile. Scrolling down. In the 6 months we've been together, almost everything I'd ever given him was on there. The brand name headphones I got him for our 1-month anniversary, listed for $200. A gaming console for our 100-day celebration, listed for $400. The new tablet he said he needed for his thesis research, listed for $900. All of them were marked as sold. And then I saw the scarf. The one I'd hand-knitted for him last winter. Working until my fingers were raw and blistered. He had held me so tight. When I gave it to him, promising he'd wear it forever. Now it was listed for $10. Shipping included. The description read, "Gift from a friend. Not my style. Unworn." I stared at those words, a wave of nausea washing over me. Looking back, the frequency with which Dan asked for gifts was absurd. And there was always a reason. Our 1-month anniversary. Our 100 days, his birthday. The day his thesis proposal was approved. I bought him something every single time. I had been working for 2 years while he was still in grad school. I figured he didn't have an income, so I tried my best to make sure he never had to spend money on me. That's why I never complained when his gifts to me were cheap snack boxes or little trinkets he'd won from some online referral game. I thought I was being understanding. Now I saw the truth in his eyes. I was just an ATM. Just then, another message popped up in the chat. "Hello? You still want them? If you're serious, I can knock a little more off the price. Can ship today." I stared at the message, a bitter mix of emotions churning inside me. Should I just confront him, break up and tell him to get lost? No, that would be letting him off way too easy. After a moment's thought, I closed the chat window and changed my shipping address to my best friend's apartment complex, double-checking the details. I hit buy now. The instant the payment went through, a new message appeared. "Awesome. I see you're local. I'll get a courier to bring it over right now. Please confirm the delivery as soon as you get it. I really need the cash." I stared at his words for a second before typing back. "Fine. Send it." An hour later, I was at my best friend Sophie's place, holding the package. The shoebox was pristine, the seal perfectly intact. The custom greeting card I'd asked the store to include was still tucked into the side. He hadn't even bothered to open it. "Isn't that the pair you got for Dan?" Sophie frowned, leaning in for a closer look. "What's going on?" I handed her my phone, letting her read through the resale history. Her expression grew colder with every swipe. "That scumbag," she seethed. "What are you going to do? Drive down to his campus and slap him?" I shook my head. Where's the fun in that? If he wanted to cash in on my gifts, I was going to make sure he lost more than he could ever imagine. Just then another notification popped up from resell. "Hey, the courier says it's been delivered. Could you please confirm the receipt? I'm in a real hurry here, trying to get money together for my girlfriend's birthday present." I froze. Girlfriend? My birthday is in October. It was only March. Which girlfriend was he buying a gift for? Sophie saw the message too and scoffed. So the jerk isn't just using you as a piggy bank. He's cheating on you too? Unbelievable. I didn't say a word. I just tapped confirm receipt. The moment the money transferred, I grabbed a small paring knife from Sophie's fruit bowl and made a tiny deliberate slice in the outer gift wrap. Then I took a photo and sent it to Dan's resale account.
Hi.
I just started opening the package and noticed the wrapping is damaged. Here.
Then exploded.
What? No way, lady. It was perfect when I gave it to the courier. There wasn't a single tear on it. You did that yourself, didn't you? You didn't check it on the spot. And now you're claiming it's damaged after you signed for it? Who knows if you didn't slice it yourself? Trying to get a discount? Not happening. You've already confirmed the receipt. The condition of the item has nothing to do with me anymore. Don't even think about trying to scam me. And with that, before I could even reply, he blocked me. A slow smile spread across my face. That was the guarantee I was waiting for. The condition of the item has nothing to do with me anymore. I switched back to my phone app and called Dan. Immediately, he answered. His voice cheerful. Hey babe, what's up? Miss me already?
Uh-huh.
I replied. Just wanted to ask if you got the shoes. Do they fit okay? There was a brief pause on the other end. Yeah, I got them, he said, his tone a little strained. They fit great. But honey, I don't really like them.
Oh.
Why not? I'm in my second year of grad school, about to start internships and look for a real job. Wearing sneakers that cost thousands of dollars just feels a little immature. He paused and deliberately softened his voice. I know you meant well, Mia, but I need to build a more professional image.
Now.
These shoes just don't fit with that. I felt the corner of my mouth twitch. I see.
Well.
You should return them. The website has a 7-day return policy. As long as they haven't been worn. That's almost $2,000. We can get you something more professional with the refund.
Don't.
He cut in hastily. But you said you didn't like them. I already wore them outside, he said, his words tumbling out. The soles are dirty and I threw the box away.
There's no way they take them back now.
Oh, well, I said, drawing out the words. I guess that's that. But you really think they're immature? Yeah, he said, his confidence returning. He even adopted a slightly lecturing tone. Mia, you shouldn't buy me things like this anymore. I won't get many chances to wear them. I'm about to start my internship. If you really want to get me something, you should get me something practical.
Like what?
Like a watch or the newest iPhone. Those things fit my status. They'd look good when I'm meeting clients. I nearly crushed my phone in my hand. A grad student who hadn't even graduated was talking to me about status. No wonder he thought $2,000 sneakers were immature. This was what he was really after. I remembered how 3 days ago, when I sent him the screenshot of the online order, all he'd replied was okay. At the time, I thought he was just busy and didn't have time to show excitement. Now I realized he was probably too disappointed to even pretend. You're right, I said slowly. You're about to start your career. You should have some nice things to show for it. Dan's voice immediately brightened.
Right.
You think so, too? I was actually looking at this Longines watch. It's about $2,000. I cut him off. That's why I tucked a watch inside the shoebox. A classic Patek Philippe. Didn't you see it? The line went completely silent. All I could hear was his breathing getting faster and faster. After a few seconds, Dan's voice was barely recognizable. What a Patek Philippe, I said, my voice dripping with innocence. I put it at the very bottom of the box, wrapped in a velvet cloth. You didn't open it? There was a handwritten letter from me in there, too. He was stammering now. You put a watch in the shoebox? Of course. I sighed. If I'd known you didn't like the shoes, I would have just given you the watch by itself. It was so expensive. My heart ached when I bought it. I heard a dull thud on his end, like a fist hitting a table. Done? I asked, my voice trembling with feigned concern. Are you okay? What was that noise? I dropped my phone, Dan stammered, his voice sounding tinny and distant. Babe, hold on. I think I hear the door. I have to go. But Dan, the watch. I said I have to go, he snapped, panic fraying the edges of his tone. The line went dead. I lowered the phone, the screen casting a cold blue light on my face. Across the kitchen island, Sophie was staring at me, her eyes wide. He hung up, she whispered. He's terrified, I said, setting the phone down. He thinks he just sold a $50,000 Patek Philippe for $400 to a stranger who blocked him. Sophie let out a low whistle. So, what's the play? He's going to come crawling back to the buyer begging for the shoes. Exactly, I said, picking up the paring knife and toying with the handle. And the buyer knows exactly what he wants. The price just went up. Right on cue, the notification chime from the resale app pinged on my phone. I didn't open it immediately. I made myself a cup of tea, letting the steam rise, counting the seconds. Another ping. Then another. I finally unlocked the screen. Seller, Dan. Hey, look, I'm sorry about earlier. I was stressed. Please unblock me. Seller, Dan. It was a mistake. I sent the wrong box. That one has sentimental value. My grandmother's ashes are in there.
Please.
Seller, Dan. I'll refund you double. $800. Just send it back. I laughed dryly. Grandmother's ashes. He's creative. Reply, Sophie urged, leaning over my shoulder. Twist the knife. I typed slowly. Buyer, me look, buddy. I already bought them. You said condition didn't matter. I verified the authenticity. They are real Jordans. I don't care about your ashes. A deal is a deal. Seller, Dan, please. I'm begging you. I'll give you $2,000. That's 5 times what you paid. I just need the box back unopened. He's desperate, Sophie noted. Where is he going to get $2,000? He's a broke grad student. He has ways, I said darkly, thinking of the girlfriend he mentioned earlier. Let's see how far he'll go. Buyer, me, I'm not interested in selling. Unless. Seller, Dan, unless what? Anything. Name it. Buyer, me, I know about the watch. I watched the typing bubbles appear, disappear, and appear again for a full minute.
He was spiraling.
Seller, Dan, what watch? Buyer, me, don't play dumb. I shook the box. It's too heavy for just sneakers. And I know rich kids like you hide stuff in these limited drops. I'm opening it right now.
Seller, Dan, no.
Don't open it.
Stop.
I'll pay you $10,000.
Cash.
Tonight. Sophie gasped. 10 grand? Mia, he doesn't have 10 grand. No, I said, my eyes narrowing. But he thinks a $50,000 payout is waiting for him inside that box. He's looking at a $40,000 profit even if he pays me 10. Greed is a powerful anesthetic for common sense. Chapter 2. The Investor. For the next 2 days, I played the part of the oblivious girlfriend perfectly. I texted Dan sweet nothings, asking about his internship, asking if he was wearing the new watch he bought. He dodged every question, his texts short and sporadic. I tracked his movements through the Find My Friends feature he'd forgotten we shared. He wasn't at the library. He was running all over the city. A pawn shop, a payday loan center, and then a luxury apartment complex in the downtown district, the Kensington. Sophie, I said, pointing at the dot on the map. Who lives at the Kensington? Sophie did a quick search on the university directory cross-referenced with Instagram. Chloe Vance. Her father is Dean Vance, the head of the business department. The internship, I realized, a cold knot tightening in my stomach. He's not just cheating on me for fun. He's networking. He's dating the dean's daughter to secure his career. That explains the sudden need for status symbols, Sophie spat. He's trying to buy his way into their world using your money. That evening, Dan called me. His voice was overly smooth, but I could hear the tremor underneath. Mia, babe, he started. I need a huge favor. An emergency came up with my tuition. There was a mix-up with my grant. Oh no, I said, infusing my voice with worry. How much? 10,000, he said quickly. I just need to borrow it for a week. The grant money will hit my account by Friday, I swear. I paused. In the past, I would have transferred it immediately. I had the savings. I would have eaten ramen for months to make sure he was okay. Dan, I said slowly. I can't. I just spent almost everything on your surprise gift. And remember what you said? You want to be independent. You want to build your own status. If I bail you out, I'm just holding you back, right? Mia, this isn't the time for, he cut himself off, taking a ragged breath. Okay, fine. You're right. I'll figure it out. Love you. He hung up. 10 minutes later, my resale account pinged. Seller, Dan, I have the money. $10,000. When can we meet? He had gotten the money from Chloe. He must have told her some sob story, or maybe promised her the watch as a gift. Buyer, me, I don't do in-person meets. Too dangerous. I'll send a courier to a locker location. You put the cash in the locker, send me the code. Once my runner verifies the cash, he puts the box in. Seller, Dan, are you crazy? How do I know you won't scam me? Buyer, me, I have the Patek. You have nothing. Take it or leave it. Offer expires in 1 hour. Then, I'm wearing the watch to dinner. Seller, Dan, fine. Send the location. Chapter 3. The Exchange. The location was a public storage locker bank at a 24-hour train station. It was neutral ground, highly surveilled. I wasn't going to be there, obviously. I hired a TaskRabbit, a massive, biker-looking guy named Grunt, to handle the exchange. His instructions were simple: check the envelope for cash, place the sealed shoebox in the locker, and leave. He didn't know what was in the box or who was involved. Sophie and I sat in her car across the street, watching through binoculars. At 8:45 p.m., Dan arrived. He looked like a wreck. He was wearing a hoodie pulled low, constantly checking over his shoulder. He held a thick brown envelope against his chest like a shield. He looks like he's about to throw up, Sophie observed with satisfaction. We watched him approach the lockers. He typed in a code, opened a locker, and threw the envelope inside. He stepped back, frantically typing on his phone. My burner phone buzzed. Seller, Dan Money is in locker 402. Code 8854. Verify now. I messaged the biker.
Go.
The biker walked up, opened the locker, checked the envelope, and gave a thumbs up to the security camera, as instructed. He then placed the pristine, gray-wrapped Air Jordan box inside, closed the locker, and walked away. As soon as the biker was out of sight, Dan scrambled for the locker. He ripped it open. He grabbed the box, clutching it with both hands. He didn't open it there, too many people. He sprinted back to his car. He's got it, I said. He thinks he just saved his life. Little does he know, Sophie smirked. He just paid 10 grand for a pair of sneakers he already owns. Oh, it's better than that, I whispered. Wait until he opens the box. Chapter 4. The Unboxing. We didn't have to wait long. I had predicted he would drive straight to Chloe's apartment to show off his investment, or perhaps return the money he borrowed by selling the watch later. But he didn't. He drove to a secluded corner of the parking lot and turned on the interior light. I dialed his number. He didn't answer. I waited 2 minutes and dialed again. What? He screamed into the phone. He was hyperventilating.
Dan?
It's Mia. I was just calling to say goodnight. You sound out of breath. Mia, he choked out. The watch. The watch. The Patek. I asked brightly. Did you find it? I bet it looks gorgeous. You should wear it to your internship tomorrow. There is no watch, he shrieked. I opened the box. I tore the soles apart. I ripped the lining. There's nothing here. Just the shoes and some rocks. Rocks? I asked, my voice dropping an octave, losing all warmth. That's strange. I didn't put rocks in there. You lied, he whispered, the realization dawning on him. There was never a watch. Oh, there was a watch, Dan. I lied smoothly. I packed it myself. Maybe the reseller took it? You know, the guy you sold my gift to for pennies? The guy you tried to buy it back from? I bought it back, he confessed, his voice breaking. I paid $10,000, Mia. I borrowed money from dangerous people. I opened the box. It's the same wrapping paper. It's the same seal. But there's no watch. You paid $10,000? I let out a low, amused hum.
Wow.
That's a lot of money for a pair of sneakers you called immature. But hey, at least you have the shoes back, right? Mia, you have to help me, he was sobbing now. I stole the money. I took it from the student council fund that Chloe manages. I thought I could flip the watch and put the money back before anyone noticed. They're going to audit the account on Monday. I'm going to jail. My hand tightened on the phone. The student council fund. He didn't just borrow from a girlfriend. He embezzled university funds. This was better than I had planned. That sounds like a you problem, Dan, I said. How can you be so cold, he wailed. I'm your boyfriend. Are you? I asked. Or am I just your ATM?
I saw your resale history, Dan.
The scarf. The headphones. The tablet. You sold everything I ever gave you. You sold us. I did it for us, he lied, desperate. To build a future.
No, you did it for you.
And for Chloe. Silence on the line. Then, a terrified whisper. How do you know about Chloe? Oh, Dan, I said, leaning back in the car seat and watching the silhouette of his head in his parked car down the street. I know everything. And by the way, check your email. What? I just forwarded your resale history, the chat logs with the buyer, and a recording of this phone call to Dean Vance. And to the University Ethics Board. No, he gasped. Mia, please.
No.
Happy anniversary, Dan, I said. I hung up and blocked his number. Chapter 5. The Collapse. The fallout was swift and brutal. It didn't take until Monday. I had sent the email to Dean Vance's personal account, an address I found easily on the syllabus Dan had once left at my apartment. The next morning, Sophie and I went to campus. We didn't need to be close to see the destruction. The gossip mill was running at light speed. By noon, Dan was escorted off campus by campus security. Apparently, Dean Vance didn't take kindly to a scholarship student embezzling funds managed by his daughter, nor did he appreciate the manipulation of his child. The $10,000 Dan had paid to the buyer, me, was indeed stolen from the council treasury. Since the transaction was in cash and anonymous, Dan had no way to recover it. He tried to tell the police he was scammed, but his story was incoherent. He claimed his girlfriend hid a $50,000 watch in a shoebox, which he sold, then bought back from himself. It sounded like the ramblings of a lunatic. Furthermore, he had destroyed the evidence. In his search for the watch, he had shredded the sneakers, ripping out the soles, and tearing the leather. He was left with a pile of expensive scrap rubber and leather worth absolutely nothing. The police investigation revealed the embezzlement. Because the amount was over a certain threshold, grand larceny charges were filed. His academic career was over. Expulsion was immediate. But the sweetest part came a week later. I received a legal notice regarding the $10,000. Since the money was stolen, the university was trying to track it down. However, the buyer account was linked to a burner phone and a VPN. The physical cash had been picked up by a TaskRabbit who had simply deposited it into a crypto ATM as instructed by my digital persona. I didn't keep the money. I wasn't a thief. I donated exactly $10,000 anonymously to the university's scholarship fund for underprivileged students, specifically the fund Dan had originally applied for but failed to get because his status wasn't high enough. Chapter 6: The Encounter. 3 months later, I was walking out of a coffee shop downtown. I looked different. New haircut, new wardrobe, a lightness in my step that hadn't been there in 2 years. I saw him. Dan was working at a valet stand outside a high-end steakhouse. He looked thinner, his face gaunt, his eyes hollow. He was wearing a cheap, ill-fitting vest. He froze when he saw me. He was holding the keys to a Porsche, the kind he used to dream of owning. I stopped. I didn't run. I didn't hide. "Mia," he breathed. "Hi, Dan," I said calmly. He looked down at the keys in his hand, then back at me. "I lost everything." "I know. Was there?" He swallowed hard, the question burning him up inside. "Was there ever really a watch?" I smiled. It was a small, mysterious smile. I looked at my wrist. There, gleaming in the afternoon sun, was a simple, elegant watch. Not a Patek Philippe. Just a nice, reliable watch I'd bought for myself with my bonus. "Does it matter?" I asked. "You never bothered to look inside the box until it was too late. You only care about the value of things, Dan, never the meaning." "I could have changed," he whispered. "I loved you." "No," I said, shaking my head. "You loved what I could give you. And when you thought I had nothing left to give, you threw me away like that scarf." A horn honked. The owner of the Porsche was waiting. The manager of the valet stand yelled, "Danny, move it. You're holding up the line."
Dan flinched.
He looked at me one last time, a plea in his eyes. I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only he could hear. "By the way," I said softly, "the scarf? I bought it back from your account before I blocked you. It was the only thing worth saving." I turned and walked away, the click of my heels on the pavement sounding like a countdown that had finally reached 0. I didn't look back. I didn't need to. I had my life back. And he had exactly what he deserved, a pair of empty hands and a lifetime to wonder about a watch that never existed.